Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here, back with another part of What If Naruto Was in a Political Marriage. So before continuing this story, I would like to thank you guys for reaching 600 plus subscriber, and we're almost at 650, and I'm quite surprised that you guys are showing such support, and I am from the bottom of my heart I'm very happy and hope that you continue to support me in the future. And I told you guys that I won't be uploading video yesterday, but I had some slight change of plans and I won't be uploading any video tomorrow because I'm uploading today. This might be a short one from the rest. So yeah, before continuing this, I would like you guys to leave a like, subscribe and comment down below. It keeps me motivated for you guys to get more content. So yeah, without further ado, let's continue. Chapter 9, The Advancement. Naruto woke up the next morning in a bit of a pickle. Namely, he was being spooned by Yujito. She didn't just have an arm wrapped over him, she was completely hugging him, with both her arms and legs holding him on tight to her. It was the type of hold that someone would expect another to use on a teddy bear or a hugging body pillow. The perfect glomp. Needless to say, Naruto couldn't break free, not without waking up Yujito, and he was very afraid of what would happen if she was suddenly woken while they were in that position. They might have bonded last night, but Naruto still didn't understand the enigma that was the female mind. So he went back to sleep. It was rather comfortable in that position after all, and since she was the big spoon, once she woke up, she wouldn't be able to blame him. Kurotsuchi woke up the next morning in a bit of a pickle as well. Namely, all of her clothes that she took with her via storage seal were dyed in bright neon pink. The only thing that she had that wasn't dyed pink was her sleepwear, which consisted of black mesh panties and a plain white t-shirt. She couldn't go outside in either wear. She quickly put on pink pants and stormed out of her room to look for Naruto, who was just glad that the source of the snoring had vanished and that she was able to get some more shut-eye. Link break. Kurotsuchi checked the entire house, sans Tamari's or Yujito's room, but couldn't find him. He must have gone to mission assignment or something, Kurotsuchi figured. She wouldn't be able to go back to sleep, not since she was so fired up at the moment. So she put her excess energy into making herself breakfast. Getting angry in the morning with no outlet for it really makes one hungry. She cracked some eggs into a bowl and started to furiously beat it into egg paste. After that, she cut up some ham and greens and mixed these in as well and fried the whole thing. It turned out to be a huge fucking omelette. She had put away too many eggs in them, but in her fired up state, she decided that the omelette wouldn't go to waste and was determined to eat the whole thing. She placed the huge omelette on the table and sat down in the chair that she had sat in the previous night. She wasn't expecting it to collapse under her weight. Kurotsuchi shrieked as she fell down. She was not expecting that. She grumpily got up and sat down on another chair to begin to eat, but only got halfway before she needed to stop and rest. Link break. Tamari walked in on a strange situation. Kurotsuchi was on a couch holding on to her distended stomach while groaning. She was wearing horrible pink neon pants, and there was half of a huge fucking omelette on the table, where there was a broken chair next to it. Tamari chose not to comment and sat down to eat some of the huge omelette. Fu walked in, sat down and began eating the omelette without comment as well. It was a surreal sight. It was 9:30 a.m. before they had eaten their fill, and Tamari decided to wake Yujito up for the day, which led to Tamari walking into another strange situation. Naruto was being held to Yujito like a hugging pillow in the bed that they were sharing. There was a sheet covering them, so she couldn't be sure of their state of dress. She quickly closed the door before she could wake up its inhabitants. With a blush on her face, she re-entered the kitchen. So, Yujito was with Naruto, Temari said, unsure of how to articulate what she saw. What? Kurotsuchi questioned loudly, sitting up. He was here all the time? Kurotsuchi muttered under her breath. Were they? She made the hand motion of sex. I don't know, Temari said, still blushing. Blah. Wow. Fu was loss of words, an affliction that seemed remarkably common as of late. I am so killing that kid, Kurotsuchi said, getting up from the couch. Why? They are married after all, Fu stated with a heavy blush. He works fast, Temari muttered under her breath. What? No, he dyed all of my clothes pink, she cried indignantly. I don't know what that means. Anyway, let's continue. They breathed out. Oh, now understanding Kurotsuchi's choice of clothing. But if they were, Temari paused. Then wouldn't Yujito get angry if you attacked him? Kurotsuchi looked like she was on the verge of exploding. Like I give any fucks. All of my clothes are ruined. I can't go outside. Well, you did make him flash his friends, Fu said. Kurotsuchi turned around and punched a wall. On the back of her t-shirt were the characters of Pink Tsuchi. Neither Fu or Temari decided to bring that up. They all heard the door to the Yujito's room open. None of them moved as they heard Yujito slowly walk into the kitchen area wearing her Neko pajamas. You guys are really loud, Yujito said, sitting down. She started to stretch her body out while sitting at a table. Ah, that was the best night ever, she said, unknowingly confirming an untrue notion held by the three other Konoichis. Yujito began to dig into the omelette, which was almost gone. You fucking shotgun. Never let it be that the pink Tsuchi was not blunt. Yujito spat out her food in surprise. What? You fucked Naruto. Isn't he like half your age? Pink Tsuchi asked. I didn't fuck anybody, Yujito cried incredulously, which was rather out of character for her. Then why were you two sharing a bed while you clung onto him like a hugging pillow? Temari asked. He looked uncomfortable on the couch, so I let him sleep with me. Yujito at this point was sporting a massive blush. Then why were you cuddling him? I must have done it in my sleep. Silence regained amongst the four wives of Naruto Uzumaki. Yujito was glaring at all of them as if daring them to say something. The door to the Yujito room opened again. None of them moved as they heard Naruto slowly walk into the kitchen area wearing his pajamas. You guys are really loud, Naruto said, sitting down. He noticed that they were all glaring at him. What? Nothing, Yujito said. Nothing, my ass. You dyed all my clothes pink, Pink Tsuchi cried out. Well, don't mess with the prankster king of Konoha, Naruto said nonchalantly. He began to chow down on the nearly gone omelette. Naruto, what did you do? Yujito asked dangerously. I dyed all her clothes pink and messed with the chair that she sat on during the last night dinner. He looked at the pile of timber that used to be a chair. That was you too? You shouldn't prank people. You are a chunin from Konohagakure. Act like one. Yujito stated. Yes, ma'am, Naruto said, with his head lowered. She looked at him with affection. Yujito didn't love him, at least not romantically. To her, he was like an annoying little brother. Or at least what she thought having an annoying little brother would be like. He was immature and loud, but he understood her, and she did care for her. She did care for him in that way. Well, for now at least. Let's continue our story. To make someone so closed off from other people able to trust him in a matter of less than 24 hours is nothing less than remarkable. But he was Naruto. That sort of his Mo. That and Yuito has always unconsciously had a desire to connect with other people, something that she was unable to do back in Kumo. Pink Tsuchi looked like she was about to murder him, but decided it unwise when she received a glare from Yuito. She sighed in defeat. Hey Tamari, I'm going to borrow some of your clothes. Tamari didn't deny her that luxury. When Yuito's attention was drawn back to breakfast, Naruto looked over his shoulder and started making faces at Pink Tsuchi. Her left eyebrow began to twitch violently. I'm so going. I'm so getting him back for this. Some ninja continue the cycle of hatred through senseless killing and lack of understanding. Kurotsuchi and Naruto would continue the cycle of pranks through lots of glue, rubber, dye, and all absolutely no apologies. And it would be glorious, to them at least. Link break. Team 7 missions had not gone well. It was a success, but it would not be an understatement to say that the mission was FUBAR. I don't know what that means, so that's why I spelled it out. You guys can figure it out. Let's continue. It had ended with Sasuke and Sakura knocked out due to injuries and Kakashi carrying both of them back to Konoha. Nobody was in good mood. Or more accurately to say, nobody would be in a good mood once everyone was woken up. After handing both of them to the hospital, he headed down to the mission assignment to give his report. Link break. Back at house. Hey Fu, can you help me with my taijutsu? Naruto asked, using the sweetest voice that he could conjure. I can. Yata. But what's in it for me? She said with a smirk on her face. Naruto deflated, but quickly rose up to the challenge. What do you want? Silence fell into the room. Well, I don't want anything at the moment, she replied cheekily. I'll owe you one, Naruto said. And what would you owe me? Anything. She looked at him with slight mischief in her eyes. Within reason? He quickly added once he saw the look in her eyes. Please, Naruto said in a slight whining voice. Okay. It's not like I have anything better to do. Yatta! Naruto yelled. He ran out of the door and bid Fu to follow him. I'm going shopping, Kurotsuchi said. She traded out her pink pants with some of Tamari's normal brown pants and one of the few pair of pants that she owned but neglected to change shirts. So she was still walking around with Pink Tsuchi on her back. I'll go with you, Tamari said. I'll go too, Yuito said. They both went to change into their outdoor clothing and met up at the door. Link break. Training round 17. Training round 17 was basically just a flat grassy plain, perfect for taijutsu or genjutsu training. Okay, what do you want to do? Taijutsu. Fu deadpanned. What aspect of taijutsu? What did Yuito say I needed to work on? Naruto asked sheepishly. Grappling and counter evasion. Okay, got it. What's grappling and counter evasion? Fu deadpanned again. Grappling is basically using an opponent's momentum against him, using grabs, feints, and throws. Counter evasion is evading the opponent's strikes, usually when they counter or grab you. Wow, you really are smart. Not really. It's just the basics of taijutsu. Well, we weren't taught that in the Academy of Konoha. We weren't either. I learned this from my sensei. What have you been learning? Chakra control exercises, teamwork. She nodded. And that's it. What? That's it? Chakra control and teamwork exercises? How long have you had that sensei? About half a year. What? That's insane. We take missions too, he said. So have I. I've had my sensei for a year, and he taught me taijutsu, genjutsu, kenjutsu, ninjutsu survival techniques. Who is that guy? He could teach Kakashi sensei a few things about being a teacher. Fu adopted a sullen look. He died a month ago on a secret mission. Oh, sorry. What about your other teammates? Never had any. I was assigned to my sensei along with two others, but their parents had them taken out of my team. So it was just me and sensei. I'm sorry for your loss. It's okay. She took a deep breath. Let's get started. Get in your normal combat stance. He did so, both legs bent into a crouch and with the arms in front of the torso and face. Okay, I'm going to throw a punch at you. Do what you do normally when someone tries to hit you. She wound back her arm and threw a forward punch aimed at his torso, which he blocked with one of his arms and bent his torso slightly forward to make the shock from the blow lessen it by having it be delivered through more surface area. Okay, that was a good block, but when possible, it's most effective to parry the blow. He leveled a questioning stare. She sighed. To parry means to redirect away from the body, for example, try to hit me. He took his stance again and threw a right hand punch at her torso. She raised her left arm and pushed his arm to her side of her. He lost his balance and almost fell on his face. Parrying is more effective because it causes less harm on the body. It also takes less energy to perform, and if used correctly, can be used to unbalance the target. However, it can be slightly difficult to perform, and blocking is better used when facing against a faster opponent, as a failed parry can leave openings that the enemy could take advantage of. Naruto was soaking this up like a sponge. Wow, you're already a better teacher than Kakashi-sensei. Fu glowered at his praise. She wasn't used to being looked up at with such admiring eyes. Teaching is kind of fun, she thought. Okay, I want you to try to parry. Yosh, he said with a salute. She cocked her fist back and threw it back his torso. He tried to mimic her previous movements, but was a bit late. He moved the punch, but it clipped his shoulder. He cried out in pain and surprise. I forgot to mention, if you partially parry the hit, then you run the risk of directing it somewhere else of your body, which might be more devastating because your body wouldn't be able to defend that in that particular area. You tell me that now? He said, slightly miffed. Okay, do that again. I want to get this down, right? Okay. She repeated the move, albeit slower, to give him a better chance at misdirecting the hit. He succeeded this time, even if he exaggerated his movements a bit too much. Yatha, I got it right. That was good, but now I'm going to show you how to parry other blows. Yosh! She began to train Naruto in earnest, with her instructing him on the different blows and how to parry them aside. It took up most of the rest of the morning and a good chunk of afternoon for him to get the moves down. They were both huffing slightly after the strenuous training. You got the moves down, but now you have to map them to muscle memory, she said. What? In all Taijutsu matches, you don't get the opportunity to think about your next move when you're trading blows, so you have to go through Taijutsu movements often enough that when you are fighting, your body reacts to the enemy's movements without you having to think about it. Ah, Naruto said in realization. He sat down on grass. Can we take a break? He asked. Yeah, sure. She sat down as well. He clasped his hands together. He clasped his I don't know what this word is, guys. Sorry for stuttering. Let's continue. He clasped his hands together, closed his eyes, and scrunched up his brow. What are you doing? I'm trying to enter my Mindscape while my body rests. Oh, smart. I should probably do that too. Naruto began to avoid any thoughts from entering his mind other than that of Kyuubi and the Mindscape. It was surprisingly difficult as his mind was always trying to wander off onto other subjects. He often opened his eyes to exclaim how impossible it was to focus on one thing. But his words died in his mouth. Before him was the Kyuubi no Kitsune in all of its nine-tailed glory. It opened its red eyes. Its color was red as well, which was abnormal. As usual, usually only the iris was red. What do you want, pitiful human? I just wanted to talk. Silas permitted the mindscape. Leave. The cube closed its eyes and settled back on sleep. No. Its eyes opened, this time in anger. Leave, you pitiful human. I have no words to trade with you. The cube said, but shouted at him. No, the cube roared at him. It was an ear-defying, heart-wrenching shout that bespoke only of hatred and malice. Why won't you, damn humans, just leave me alone for once in my life? Naruto stood his ground. Because I don't want you to know the pain of being alone. The Kyuubi huffed. The Kyuubi was huffing and puffing. It eventually laid back down, gave one more tremendous exhale, and leveled a glare at Naruto. You aren't going to leave me alone, are you? The Kyuubi asked exasperatedly. Nope. The Kyuubi gave another sigh but remained silent. Naruto decided to begin his conversation. What gender are you? This caught the Kyuubi attention. I don't have any. Why do you ask? Or more importantly, why do you need to know? Well, when you were talking to Nibi and the Hachibi, you all called each other it. And I was curious why you did that. Also, how can you not have a gender? The Kyuubi sighed again. It really didn't want to talk right now. I am a huge amount of chakra that has gained sentience over itself. I don't have a gender because I can't reproduce, so I lack a pronoun other than it. But you sound like a male. Is it okay if I call you he? Is it okay if I call you she? I don't have a gender, but that means that I don't identify that either female or male. Just refer to me by it or the Kyuubi. But when something is called it, that means that it's an object without any sentience. So invent a new gender neutral pronoun that can be used on beings of either no or an unspecified gender. But until you do that, call me it. That appeared to be the end of the discussion because the Kyuubi got up and turned around to lay down. It also clattered its ear against his head, signifying the lack of want to listen to Naruto anymore. Link break. Fu was having a very different conversation in her mindscape. Hiya, Chome. Back, but you can call. Hiya, I'm Chome, but you can call me Lucky Number 7. Fu deadpanned. This talking to your Biju thing was going to be easier than she expected. Link break. Training ground 17 physical world. Hey Naruto, wake up! Tenten screamed into Naruto's ear. He was as still as stone. This was weird. Tenten and Neji had just walked into their favorite training ground and they had been greeted with the sight of Naruto meditating on the ground next to unknown Konoichi, both of whom wouldn't react in the slightest to their boarding. Do you think something wrong? She asked Neji. I don't know. Do you recognize this Konoichi? Nope. Naruto's eyes opened suddenly. I don't. Naruto went silent when he realized that he and Fu had visitors. Hey Tenten, hey Neji, he said amiably. Hey Naruto. So what were you doing just now and who is she? Tenten asked. I was meditating and this is Fu. He gestured to the meditating Konoichi. So you came over here just to meditate? Asked Neji. Well, we were doing training before that. Oh Neji, I wanna try something. Naruto got up and stretched a bit. Try hit me. What? Just okay, do it. Okay. Neji slowly got into his gentle fist stance and threw a palm strike at Naruto. It was a simple palm strike towards his torso, one which Naruto read a mile away and was able to redirect away from him. Neji, who was surprised by the parry, lost his balance and stumbled to the side. Pretty cool, huh? Fu been teaching me how to parry, Naruto said with pride. Isn't parrying a term used for Kenjutsu techniques? Tenten asked. I don't know. Fu said that it was used in Taijutsu. Well, you certainly surprised me, Neji said. So, how has Bushy Brows been? Was Granny able to fix him? They both grew somber expressions. Lee has 50% of surviving the operation. He and Guy talked this over and they decided to go through with it. Tenten said, "Oh, that sucks." Naruto said, unsure of what is proper to say in this situation. "Yeah, it does." Fu woke up suddenly, interrupting Tenten mid-sentence. "You'll never guess." Fu grew silent as well after noticing the company. "Hey Fu, this is Neji and Tenten." He gestured to the two shinobis. Were you doing? What were you going to say?" "Well, I don't think that I should in present company," Fu said obviously. Sorry. Why wouldn't we be able to hear it?" Tenten asked. It's a secret." "Nice one, Fu." "Okay." Tenten didn't pry any further. "Your mission was a success, I presume?" "Oh, I never went on the mission. Parvise needed to talk to me right before they left." "Well, I heard that it went pretty badly. Both Sakura and Sasuke were hospitalized." "What? Are they okay?" "Yeah, they both walked around thanks to Tsunade-sama. Apparently it was just extreme exhaustion. I need to go see if they are okay." "Are we done with pairing, Fu?" "Well, yeah, but what you needed help with was grappling and counter evasion. I taught you pairing because it's necessary for teaching you both of those other concepts." "Teach me another time," Fu sighed in exasperation. "Okay, but I'm coming with you to meet your teammates." "Why?" "Because I don't have any other thing to do." Fu spoke in deadpan. "Okay, let's get going then." Naruto sped off to the hospital with Fu in tow. Both Tenten and Neji looked on at the pair. "Well, that was different than usual," Tenten said. "It was," said in agreement. "Link break, hidden sound base, and how accurate is the information?" Orochimaru asked Kabuto from his sick bed. "Extremely, sir. All four Kages has been seen having discussions and I have seen the 5 Jinchurikis for myself." Orochimaru growled. This was going to be substantially complicate his getting Sasuke away from Konoha plan. Most of the top level shinobi were constantly away on missions to show that Konoha was strong. So there were only low level shinobis left who wouldn't be able to stop his plan from coming to fruition. But if the Kages really were all talking together at the same time, then that could mean an alliance which would mean that the rest of the Jinchuriki station in Konoha might be accosted to help with taking back Sasuke. Orochimaru knew of the Sound Force combat powers, but he also knew almost for certain that they would be found out by Konoha and that a chase would ensue. A chance that they would be taken over by if 5 Jinchurikis followed them. "Kabuto, get someone strong. I need to be carried somewhere." Yes sir." Kabuto quickly went to find most physically imposing sound shinobi he could find. Luckily enough, Orochimaru knew just the organization that was focusing on capturing all of the Jinchuriki, an organization that he used to be a part of, an organization that he knew would help him if it meant they would be closer to their plan. Akatsuki. Link break. Academy administration. Tsunade was having a slight hectic day. First, she had to get all the Kages together and give them the seal of the Harishin. The Harishin tags would be useless until applies to a flat surface. They were all very wary of her idea of transporting the cubes in Jinchuriki, but after a lot of pleading, threatening, and just the tiniest bit of blackmailing, they all reluctantly agreed to it. After all, she could only send one person to each village at a time. Even if Konoha decided to betray them, there couldn't be much damage at all from a single Harishin seal, of which could simply be destroyed. After that, they departed to their respective villages, each leaving their retainer in Konoha. Tsunade then went back to her studies. After meeting with Lee and telling him news that would crush any normal person's dream, He met with his sensei and they both decided that he would go through the operation that only had 50% chance of succeeding. This inspired her to at least go back through her medical studies in an effort to up the percentage. Then Gerard decided to crash through the window. Tsunade didn't outwardly react and only gave an exasperated, "What do you want, Jiraiya? Oh, can't an old friend come over to say hello? I'm busy. What do you want? Do you know where Naruto is? I thought he was under your jurisdiction. Well, I can't find him. He's not in the house, not at the training grounds, not at the ramen stand. Maybe he's at the hospital. Why would be he at the hospital? Because his rest of team came back from his mission and in such a bad shape that I had to go over and heal them personally. And they were just exhausted. So that was a waste of time, and now here you are wasting my time," Snotty yelled. He quickly put his hands up. Okay, I'll leave you alone." He promptly jumped out of another window, Snotty sighed and went back to her medical test. Link break, the hospital. Naruto and Fu were in the waiting room, waiting to be allowed to permission to see Sasuke and Sakura. "So, what are your teammates like?" "Well, Sakura-chan is really nice and pretty, and she also a great ninja. Sasuke-tame is kind of a dick, but he can be nice at times, and he's as dependable as a shinobi. I can't wait to meet them. Yeah, I hope that they're okay. They're fine. You heard Tenten. They're already walking around," Fu said assuredly. "I hope so." The nurse in charge of Sasuke and Sakura's well-being bade them over and told them that they were allowed to see them. Naruto walked hastily to the room that they were being held and opened the door. Sakura was in bed resting and Sasuke was up, looking out the room's window. Naruto put up a big cheesy grin. "Hey Teme, how did the mission go?" Sasuke looked at him. "How do you think? We completed the mission, but Kakashi had to finish it and carry us back to Konoha." Sasuke noticed Fu. "Who is she?" "Oh, hi, I'm Fu," Fu said slightly sheepishly. She still wasn't very sociable around new people. Fu's been teaching me Taijutsu," Naruto said with a grin, "and she's really good at it." Fu started to blush. She wasn't used to receiving such vocal exclamations of her powers as a ninja, especially in front of other people. Sasuke started to seethe. Why was Naruto so strong? How was Naruto so strong? He was the dead last in the academy, and now Naruto was dangerously close to being stronger than Sasuke. No, he wasn't dangerously close to be stronger than Sasuke. He was stronger than Sasuke. The one who beat Haku was Naruto. The one who beat Kara was Naruto. And Sasuke just got pushed around by some queer-looking shinobi with lightning sword. And now Naruto was receiving instructions from a Taijutsu expert. This did not bode well for Sasuke. It's not that Sasuke didn't like Naruto. It's not that Sasuke didn't think that Naruto deserved the power. No, it's just that Sasuke felt useless and weak next to Naruto. He made up his mind to kill his brother and avenge his clan. He wouldn't be able to do that with how weak he was. Sasuke glared at Naruto and unavailably using his Sharingan, unnerving both Naruto and Fu. He was also very, very frustrated, and the constant pain of the curse mark didn't help in the slightest. "Naruto, fight me. Huh? Fight me. Like right now? On the roof, right now. But you're injured. Tsunade just healed me. What's wrong? I thought you wanted to fight me. Did you chicken out?" "No, if you want a fight, then let's fight." Sasuke walked out of the room and began to go up the stairs to the roof. Naruto followed him. Fu gave Naruto a queer look, which he just responded with a shrug. Once they were up on the roof, they stood across each other. "I've been waiting to fight you for a long time, Teme. Whatever you say, failure." Sasuke adopted a battle stance. "First, put on your headband. You won't be able to put a single scratch on my head. So why bother? That's not it. The headband signifies that we are equal shinobi of the hidden leaf. You will never be equal to me, failure. Put it on." Sasuke instead rushed Naruto. When he got close enough, Sasuke threw a punch at Naruto. Naruto had been waiting and pushed the oncoming fist to the side of him, causing Sasuke to stumble slightly. Naruto took advantage of the opening and threw a punch at Sasuke's face. The fist was blocked and Sasuke jumped back to give himself some space. The failure has been training. Woohoo! I actually pulled off that parry. Fu had been watching on the sidelines giving a slight smile. Sasuke charged at Naruto once again, this time going in for a side kick. Naruto caught the kick but Sasuke just fell to the ground on his hand and with some quick maneuvering raised his another leg to strike Naruto's face. Naruto released his leg and stumbled back. Sasuke jumped to his feet and rushed him, throwing quick successive punches at the blonde. The strikes were coming too fast for Naruto to think about parrying, so his body reacted, blocking the majority of them when Naruto's guard was down. Sasuke wound back his arm and sent a straight punch for Naruto's face. Naruto brushed the punch to the side, but Sasuke was anticipating that and headbutted the blonde using the momentum of the punch. Naruto stumbled back again and raced into the sheets that were hanging up. Sasuke stood and watched the wall of white, waiting for an indication that Naruto was in there. A sudden flap of one of the sheets drew Sasuke's attention and he raced towards, hoping to catch Naruto off guard. Shadow Clone no Jutsu was shouted out. Sasuke was surrounded by clones, some he could see and others that were behind sheets. This wasn't good. The Sharingan predictive abilities were only good on what he could see. Clones raced at him from all sides. One jumped on his back but threw it off of him. Into a group of other clones. Another tried to jump attack, but Sasuke caught the appendage and threw the clones into another group. Two clones raced at him from the sides. The one on the left threw a punch at his head, the other to his torso. Sasuke fell onto the ground and caught them both in the chin with either of his feet. Four different clones started tackling him while he was on his hands and shouted Uzumaki with corresponding hits to Sasuke's body. He was launched in the air and quickly began doing quick hand seals, ending it with the tiger seals, and spew forth flame at the clones on the ground, dispelling them. Naruto barrage! Sasuke had anticipated the blonde to be above him, so as he turned in midair, he crossed both of his arms to his chest but was met with a clone dispelling. He looked on the ground. His flames were being pushed to the side by the Rasengan, which was in the process of being created. Sasuke went through hand seals and shouted Chidori. Fu was getting worried but chose not to intervene. Kakashi was sleeping soundly in the hospitals below. Sasuke was getting closer and closer, and just when he began to thrust out his Chidori, Naruto dispelled his Rasengan and threw all the weight he had into pushing the hand with the Chidori away from him. Naruto still got a shock jolt for all of his troubles, but he successfully parried the blow away from him. Sasuke fell to the ground hard. His Chidori had dispelled and he tried to get back up, but Naruto jumped on him and put his arm behind his back. I win, Teme. This was the scene that Jiraiya jumped in on. This is where I'm gonna leaving this. This is where I'll be leaving this part of, guys. Sorry for the stuttering and so on. My mobile screen is almost fucked, but I will be getting it replaced tomorrow, so that is why I won't be uploading the video tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. But after 1 or 2 days I might upload the final part of What If Naruto the Regretful Family, and be sure it might be a 40 minutes video or 25 minutes video, but I might make it to cover the full on war arc, as well as make Konoha regret doing that what they did for that story. And I'm thinking of making What If Naruto had Godzilla bloodline or something like that, in which Naruto can transform into a Godzilla. Or what about Naruto transform into a werewolf? This might state something like that of story. So if you like that kind of content, comment down below and leave a like and subscribe to my channel. This is Apollo Uchiha and I am signing out. Peace.